Other shows we have for you to enjoy at myclassicradio.net. The Avengers was most certainly not a household name in South Africa prior to the radio series. With no national television service until 1976, the mechanism simply was not present in the country to show television programs to mass audiences. While many other countries reveled in the filmed adventures of John Steed and company, South Africa was not equipped to join in the fun. The series took Britain by storm and made a major impression in the American markets, being that greatest of rarities, a British series given a network transmission slot. However, as a filmed series, rather than a videotaped one, The Avengers was able to gain a modicum of exposure in South Africa through film rentals. Come and listen at myclassicradio.net.
The CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind. Tonight, a pre-release performance of Hugo Weisgall's The Stronger, a recorded one-act, one-voice opera chosen by the American Chamber Music Committee to be given a major performance on record as part of the Columbia Modern American Composer Series. Serving on the American Chamber Music Committee are Virgil Thompson, composer and critic as chairman, Aaron Copeland, composer and chairman of the faculty of the Berkshire Music Center, Henry Cowell, composer and professor of composition, Peabody Institute of Music, Baltimore, Maryland, William Schumann, president of Juilliard School of Music, and Goddard Lieberson, president of Columbia Records. Here is Mr. Lieberson.
When the Committee for the Modern American Music Series, which included the speaker, first heard a test record that was submitted of a chamber opera by a composer named Hugo Weisgall, we were all struck by what seemed to us to be the emergence of a genuine American opera composer, a composer who seemed to have grasped not only the elements of his work as a musician, but also those important elements that make up that rare being, a genuine theatrical composer. The Stronger, a small opera based on a play by Strindberg, is perhaps not immediately accessible in its full values, but what is immediately accessible is the dramatic impact. I think that perhaps as far as the music is concerned, the best thing I can do is quote from the notes that Mr. George Rochberg has supplied for this record. He says, "In general, it is difficult to place Weisgall's musical style. Not that it is important or necessary to do so. We are too fond of labeling composers today. Still, his music leans heavily in the direction of a freely handled chromatic palette, without ever sounding like so-called atonal music. The diversity of harmonic palette is evident in The Stronger, as is the composer's sensitivity to orchestral color. The most important thing is, of course, that these means are not to be judged by themselves, but entirely in relation to the dramatic situation to which they are applied and which they delineate so beautifully."
And now, Hugo Weisgall's The Stronger, sung by Adelaide Bishop and conducted by Alfredo Antonini.
How nice to see you. But sitting all by yourself, like a bachelor at his club? I do hate singing alone on Christmas Eve in a restaurant. May I sit down? Even if you like to be alone, I don't think it's wholesome. I can't bear people who aren't serious about Christmas. It reminds me of a wedding party I once saw in a Paris restaurant. The bride was reading La Mode, and the groom was playing billiards with the witnesses. The French are so cold-blooded, really. I know you're bored with Christmas. I suppose it's only the children who keep me at it year after year. I've worked like a slave for weeks. Every morning I'm in town shopping, and then ungrateful little wretches, they'll drag us out of bed at dawn. Tomorrow morning, but don't you want to see some of these marvelous things? Isn't this a sweet infant? She'll do anything to throw fits and protect. We never had anything like that. And here's a pair of slippers for Harold. Maroon. I hate maroon. But he must have everything that's one color. Slippers, ties, dressing gown. See what small feet he has. 7.5. But not effeminate. The way he walks up and down, up and down, up and down, like the tiger in the zoo. Of course, you've never seen him that way. In dressing gown and slippers. But then he loses his temper. He really stops. Damn it all! Who stole the bulb from my study lamp again? Oh, when the thermostat breaks down and cold drops from the floor, my God, my feet are freezing, but a fortune in oil goes up in smoke. But I am mean. Bearing his little weaknesses in public, he that little beast Audrey. He made a play for him the last time I was on the road. I'd have clawed out her eyes. I'm glad I heard about it first from him, and not from my dear friends. And she's not the only one. Why should they all make passes at my poor husband? Maybe they think because he's a producer, he'll give them jobs and build them into sports. Why does every snip of a debutante fancy herself as another concern? Maybe you tried it once, but then he never cared for you. It was so strange, the way we met. At first I was afraid of you, so much afraid I didn't dare to let you out of sight again. No matter how I planned my day, I always ended somewhere near you. I didn't have the courage to hate you, so I became your friend. But when you called on Harold and me, something was wrong. I saw he didn't like you, and it annoyed me like a tight shoe. I asked him to be nice to you, but it was no good until you were engaged. You became fast friends. Don't interrupt. It was all so strange, so very strange. As though the two of you had been afraid to show how you really felt until it was safe. And yet I wasn't jealous. No, not yet. And at Freddie's christening, when you were gone, Mama, I made Harold kiss you, as he did. You were embarrassed, both of you. You turned quite red, and he was pale. I scarcely noticed at the time. I haven't thought about it since. I never really thought of it. Why don't you speak? You haven't said a single word. You just let me talk. You sit and stare, like a spider catching flies. Your eyes have drawn out thoughts that I was never conscious of. Why did you break your engagement? Why won't you visit us tonight? You needn't say a single word. All at once, it's clear to me. It all fits together. The whole underhanded business. Why must all these things be this hurried color, like dried blood? Because it's your favorite, you're wearing it tonight. Why must we go to the mountains every year? Because you can stand the smell of the sea. That's why my boy's name is Frederick, because it was your father's name. That's why I read your favorite books and eat your ghastly food and drink your drinks, damn martinis, horrid bitter things. You made me swallow everything. Even your warm desires. with jealousy while you just sit silent and indifferent. I don't care if it's snowing or if the moon is out, whether it's Christmas or the middle of July. Happy or unhappy, it's all one to you. You are incapable of this, and you don't know how to love. Here you sit and wait. Here you sit and wait in your cozy little corner, reading your papers to see who's in trouble, whose marriage is breaking up, whose show is closing. Here you draw in your silly little victims and let them talk themselves out. Here you take your secret little tributes. Poor Lisa, really, you know I pity you. You must be unhappy in your lifeless way. I should be angry with you, but I'm not. Who could be angry with a dead woman? And as for that, why should I worry if you or someone else taught me to drink martinis? They're always chic and never fattening. And if I learn to dress from you, so much the better. It helps me hold my husband. My gain is your loss. Yes, I think you have lost him entirely. Of course, you meant for me to break with him. But you see, I have a thick skin. I never do that. Suppose he did love you once. I'm not that narrow-minded, and besides, it was exciting to have a man that someone wanted more than I did. You never took anything from me. You only gave. And now who's holding the cards? For a while it seems that you did. For a while you held his love, but it belonged to me. Frederick was a name you gave, but the flesh is silent. I used to think it was because you were the stronger. But the simple truth is that you had no words worth saying. Your mind and heart are empty. I'm going home now and taking slippers with me. You couldn't learn from others, could you? You couldn't twist and bend so like a dry reed. You broke. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for all your help. I think you taught me how to love my husband. Oh, and yes, Merry Christmas.
You have been listening to the CBS Radio Workshop premiere performance of The Stronger, a recorded opera based on a play by August Strindberg, adapted by Richard Hart, with music by Hugo Weisskall, sung by Adelaide Bishop, and conducted by Alfredo Antonini. The Columbia recording of The Stronger will be available at music stores next week. This is Roger Foster inviting you to join us next week when, from Hollywood, we will present Hamlet Revisited, another point of view about Shakespeare's great heroic figure. The CBS Radio Workshop is produced in New York by Paul Roberts. In the current issue of TV Radio Mirror magazine is an interesting article on Who's Who on CBS Radio Workshop. TV Radio Mirror is now on sale at all newsstands. Stay tuned for 5 minutes of CBS News, to be followed on most of these stations by My Son Jeep.
This is the CBS Radio Network.